Wake up! It's the Shawn Michaels show!
You hit the brakes and it just kind of fell out of my hand onto the...
Fell out of...
It did! It did. It really fell just like out of my hand. Okay. Team top down! We're back. Camera! Great job finding a spot. Let's go! Oh, nice. They have our favorite. All right, here, Helson, catch. Oh. Hanging out with Helson. We're gonna do some lifting. Uh oh, what happened?
I have the pass. BRB, guys.
Want me to stay here? All right, I'll just talk.
The main thing I actually wanted to talk about has to do with what I learned yesterday in creating a morning routine. What I want to do is show you how I typically write down my morning and night routine. I think the most underrated piece of having a routine is the night routine. I learned this from a friend named Ruben. We both met in New York on a hike, but he also now coincidentally lives in Southern California. But the main thing is, what I'm gonna try to do is write out all the things in order of what I need to do every night in order to prepare myself and set myself up for success the next day. The main things that I focused on last time was waking up and starting the day off on a positive note. So I would call someone at 5:30 a.m. every single day. His name is Simon, who's a good friend of mine, and share 3 things that we are grateful for. It was actually a great exercise. I took it from the 5-minute journal. I actually still have that, and I honestly haven't been doing it other than that. But the most important change that's gonna be new has to do with communication. So looking at what messages I need to respond to at the end of the day, and checking my calendar at the end of the day, updating it, as well as in the morning. Those things are gonna be really important for my future success. Something that I think is gonna be pretty fun is in the past I've used social media as a platform to keep myself accountable. Whether it's through the 90 days of WODs, so if you followed me on Instagram at that point, I did 90 straight days of some type of WOD, a workout of the day, found on WODwell or at a CrossFit box. I use Instagram as my platform to keep accountable. Similarly, I'm gonna try to do this. Right now though, it's kind of on the late side. I usually don't work out this late, but it's around probably 8 o'clock. I'm gonna try to get a late night lift in. I'm taking inspiration from this app called Strong Lifts. So David Choi, one of my really close friends back in New York, he uses it. He was a big advocate for it and how much it helped him. And Helson's back, so it's time to jump into the gym. So let's go.
Yo. What's up? I don't know if this is normal, but the lens fogged up. This upper floor is so hot. Wow. Dude, it's really wet. I might go row downstairs. This place is so crowded, I gotta start on an air bike, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I probably need to practice anyway. Lightweight, trying to strengthen the glutes. Apparently that's the weakest part. Done. Let's go back. This is probably the weirdest spot for a Lime scooter I've ever seen.
Looks like someone had a hard time getting on the scooter, so they were trying to create a solution to get it running. I've heard that if you put it next to a bus stop, it kind of starts automatically, but in this case, it didn't look like it worked, so they just left it.
How did your session go?
It went pretty well.
Yeah.
The warm-up, I did 10 minutes on the treadmill, and it was excruciatingly hot. I was sweating so quickly. We just walked upstairs, and it was immediately just drenching in sweat.
It was a sauna upstairs. Like
Yeah.
It felt like hot yoga.
I did like a hill warm-up too, so I did an incline on the treadmill and like fast-paced, so it was pretty good. Worked out chest and triceps. I'm still getting back into things, so it was on the lighter side, less reps, but just getting all the movements in.
Yeah.
What about you?
It was pretty fun, actually. I did pretty well with the squats. It was supposed to be 5 sets of 5 at 255, and I failed on the 25th rep, which was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So that one's gonna haunt me. That was very close. Strict presses were good, and I feel pretty good. My deadlift was at 275, and I did it for 5 with ease, it felt like. And I remember in December, I was struggling to do 1 at 255, so I've come a long way.
Yeah.
Oh, we got across. So earlier I was talking about having a night and morning routine. This is what I'm gonna start with for the next 2 days. Starting in the mornings, at 6 a.m., I'm gonna wake up. At 6:05, I'm gonna do an Instagram story to share 3 things that I'm grateful for. Next, I'm gonna grab my iPad and I'm gonna look at the calendar. I'm gonna update it, so make sure that I know what's going on for the day, and that if there's anything that needs to get updated, it's updated accordingly. Next, I'm gonna update the queue of people I need to talk to or message throughout the day, and I'm gonna make sure that I actually follow up with them. And then finally, I'm gonna get dressed and go to CrossFit by 7 a.m. Now for the night routine, I'm going to plug in all of my devices to make sure they're all charged for the next day. Prep the clothes for tomorrow, so look at the weather, make sure that I have all the clothes laid out so that in the morning I don't have to worry about it. Trying to minimize the amount of friction and the amount of responsibility that is required in the morning. The last thing before going to bed is updating the calendar, putting in any tentative dates if I send out any requests. Ultimately, time will tell to see if it actually works out. The tricky thing is, for this week, I'm flying out Thursday, really Wednesday night, around midnight. So the morning routine is going to be, and the night routine is going to be kind of put to a hold there. And then I'm going to be a little bit dependent on the people that I'm staying with. But that's it for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.